Ugandan music. That was a double play from Nessim, and everyone here was like appreciating Nessim. So big up to you, Nessim. Five songs of Nessim. I remember the first time I encountered with Nessim. Ray Signature took me there.
Yeah.
And he's like, this girl sings well. Let me just do the first song for free. So Ray, they sat down and Nessim co-writes.
Wow.
So they co-wrote the song, and I was like, that was on Double Trouble. What's that song? It goes So big up Nessim.
Wow.
That's a big song.
That's a big.
That was Ray Signature and Nessim all together.
Yeah.
Then you played Waikibenda. I've seen he's doing 10 years of Waikibenda.
Yeah.
He's having a concert. You played Shiba and the Ben. Ben is bringing a concert to Uganda.
Yeah.
Did you talk up to you about it?
Yeah, you told me about it. Yeah.
Ben is also a good writer. Like when they sit with Nessim,
Yeah.
we had a song with the Ben. We were there like 9 hours. They're perfectionists. You do the song over and over and over. Then we play something from Mama Abi, confirmed and sealed. The gospel EP is coming through. Somebody is trying to do a concert for her this year before she goes to gospel. So they're in talks like that. But a gospel EP is already on the road there. Okello. Levikson.
Yes, that was another one.
Yeah, Turn the Ripley. That was another
Hey.
one.
That was another one. Yeah.
Nessim.
It's also Joe Steady and Charlie and Nina.
That was a beautiful.
Warmer.
That was a beautiful love set. Are you in love? Is your love going on?
Yeah,
Twande,
Rossman, and you know Rossman.
At this rate, we just call the show Throwback Nessim. And the whole show. Then we just.
No,
Happy
but
to see you.
Good to see
Like
you, man.
practically seeing you for the first time face to face, apart from stage and all that.
Me, this is the second time seeing you.
Where did we meet?
I
Was
used
good?
to. Yeah.
Douglas said you have to meet me like 6+. So I don't know what time did you meet me?
No. I met you around Naguru here because I used to stay on this hill.
Okay. Was I taller or shorter?
You've improved. I won't tell you what has
is
improved.
safe,
That's a very safe answer. Yeah, but you've improved.
I'm not like that.
Yeah.
Oh, because I cut off my hair.
No, the hair doesn't add anything. You ask Mercy. But it's good to see you, my brother.
That was the awesome set. Ben, talking about Levikson, remember God, with Christians here.
Amen.
Take a time and spare some time for God. You can run to Fanero, Pastor, Bugembe, whatever pastor. Take some time. Yeah. Happy to see you. Let's talk about tomorrow before we go even beyond anything.
Yes, tomorrow I have my third comedy special entitled Uganda Must Laugh. I've done 3 specials in 2022 when I did my first special. I think you explained to people, especially the comedian coming on stage and doing 1 hour of curated material. The first one was Laugh at My People, and I do jokes focusing on Ugandan experiences. Then last year I did...
You practically get to these places and see this, or you hear stories, or you read?
I write my experience. So like my last show last year I did Funny on Purpose. It was a show about my experience growing up, where I talked about school. So I had a lot of school jokes. I had a joke about riots and protests, my experience, because I've ever been in a riot by mistake. Wait, there's the time...
The country was in a riot by mistake.
Yes.
He went to camp and things changed. So what's your story?
I did a joke about, I was in Chireka. I was going to meet a friend.
Just do the joke itself, by the way. It could be cooler.
You'll find it on YouTube. It's there.
Okay.
But I was actually in Chireka. I was going to Weyogedere. And it was around the campaign season. So, without...
You're doing your own things, same hustle.
Same hustle. So, without internet in Uganda, you don't know what's happening.
I know.
So, I didn't have that. And I reached Chireka. I see tires are burning, pieces of wood, smoke. Now, in my mind, I'm like, does Camilo have a new video he's shooting? But in every riot, you'll find a Muganda Obi. I was walking, I saw Mukasa from it. He said, okay, no, now you're worried. I said, Tuliwa. Said, what? Who fight who? First tell me, who has done what? Said, I said, who are we fighting first of all? So I have a whole bit of like 10 minutes about that experience. And for me as a comedian, my job is not to tell you what to do or what to think. I'll just tell you what I went through. And more personal experience. But more often than not, you've also gone through the same thing. So
you
that's
have a clue to something to it. Let me ask you as comedians, isn't YouTube affecting you? Because practically I watch comedy on YouTube. Practically I can do 2 hours of comedy and Ugandan content.
And I don't think it is affecting us.
If in terms of people coming in real life.
No, because one of the biggest audiences that Fun Factory has generated consistently has been from YouTube. Because at some point the audiences had dwindled and Fun Factory started streaming the show. And eventually waba wagamba nti naye kanve waka these people are funny. Yes, it's almost FOMO of sorts. Like now for Hillary's show, today we were checking the stats, is almost sold out actually, but it's a result of YouTube.
People are fearing that I might miss out on watching this guy.
The show.
So there are platforms that for me I've learned they're used for traffic direction. So I post a lot of clips on TikTok. So the people will see you and say, man, I watch you, everything I watch you on TikTok. Because I have views of 2 million, 3 million views. So they meet you, they feel like they know you. And now the beauty about that is there are people who will be your fans in London. There are people who will be your fans in Sweden. So the day you go there, they will come through to support you. Then in Uganda, not everyone can come for your show. There are people who work as, let's say, security guards, or they work in some...
And they're typical fans.
Like but he can't...
He's in the night, the entire night.
Yes.
You're making their night.
But he can't come for your show because of work or whatever. Or he's in Bukedia and your show is in Kampala. You see what I mean? But the beauty about that is still they're supporting you the best way they can.
Are we making some money off this YouTube? Like real, sensible money?
Yeah. I make income every month from YouTube. But that's
you're
someone...
platform. These are big brands.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a boy because I'm coming from the picture of we no longer have platforms that bring new comedians. So I'm thinking of a new kid who's like, let me start from YouTube. Can they sustain?
I wouldn't say it's the best, especially for stand-up. I wouldn't say it's the best place to start. Because when you're just starting comedy, you're not as good as you think you are. That's the thing about comedies. Even
how do you know you're good?
How you know you're good is if you've taken years.
Comedy and I'm like, how does somebody from home sit and think this will make people laugh? Because I've noticed Maria Chen and Madrat and Chico, they seem to play with the crowd.
Yes.
I've noticed you stand up alone people. I think it's the hardest not to cry.
Hard. Yeah, it's very hard. But also, if you just benchmark of what you said with like how you said Nessim was writing and they're perfectionists and they go over these 9 hours. Those 9 hours are what produce that 3-minute song that you listen to and you're like, ooh.
This is beautiful.
So you see, with comedy, it's the same thing. It's a muscle. Like the more you exercise it, the stronger that muscle gets. So
you know where you're gonna pick everything that will make everybody laugh.
I'll give you an example. One of my most brilliant jokes that most people know is the joke I did in 2019 about Uganda Airlines. And people love that joke. But I performed that joke 5 times before it got to that level. That was the biggest platform. Different crowds. The first time you'll perform it, no one will laugh. So you'll go back and they didn't pick it. So you'll go back and panel beat it and rethink the joke.
You don't feel like I've seen a comedian who feels like Leroba Nene. You also see it on stage.
Sometimes we meet new jokes, fresh jokes. The joke echali mu oven. Kati you see like the special jetula Kevin Hart or Gundi, Dave Chappelle, whoever. Those comedy clubs in all these cities, there is a high chance on a random night Kevin Hart will walk through. Ngaze testing a joke oze. It happens. And they know.
There's a time I was watching Trevor Noah and said, you'll pick this from home. And even me, the fact I didn't get the whole joke. But afterwards, when I started rethinking, I'm like, this guy is crazy funny. Like you start laughing alone.
You start internalizing the content.
Like smart. Let's get back to the Uganda content. We're comparing comedy with musicians. It looks like it has become like they're married now, husband and wife. And when you see people like Kevin Hart, Trevor Noah, they do stand-ups like 40 minutes, Kevin Hart is going to kill you. Here it feels like it's disappearing. And comedians are doing like what, 10, 15 minutes?
I think it comes down to what you benchmark it to.
Yes.
Now, when you talk about Trevor Noah, Kevin Hart, the benchmark you're looking at is the American audience. First of all, the industry there is way older. But also, for a young comedian in the US, when there's a young comedian in America who wants to do stand-up, who do they look at? They look at Kevin Hart, they look at Trevor Noah, Dave Chappelle. So they see that and copy that, because learning is about copying. So you say, this guy can stand on stage for 1 hour and just do comedy, no music. So a young artist, a young comedian will also think, that's what I should do. Our challenge here in Uganda is the people who are benchmarking. The most people you'll see on TV or the like. You'll watch the most popular shows of comedy. You'll see music. You'll see a comedian come on stage and they dance before they even start talking to people. An introduction song. So a new
play with the song.
Yes.
So a new comedian will think that's how it's supposed to be done. So that becomes challenging. But the good thing about some of the comedians, me, Cotilda and the like, The benchmarking we have is comedians in the US. The biggest brands.
So are you saying that the people who can do it without the music involved are not being given the right platforms?
As much.
Yes.
And that's why now we've brought with the comedy club that is opening up, the Laughing Marabou stock, with also Funny Bunny that has been trying to push that. And
so
also
tell me about that's what's coming up.
The Laughing Marabou stock
is
opening on the 21st of March.
Where?
And at Donnell's and Tinder. Okay. So we are going to be running for 3 nights comedy. There will be fresh acts. There is a night that is called Stand Up and Coming.
So you see,
you'll meet totally new guys,
comedians, people you've never seen.
Yes, and then there is a night called Joke the Week where we'll just be joking about all the things that have been happening throughout the week, because Uganda.
Every week.
Uganda is a movie every week. You can even joke about the sun.
And the sun.
And then we will be having a lot of specials. We'll even be bringing some reminiscence.
Like 3 consecutive days.
Yes.
Where's that place exactly?
Donnell's.
Opposite Capital Shoppers in Tinder.
Yes.
It's a bar and restaurant. It's called Donnell's.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So that means you're saying music has got here because I'm going to use him because he's my friend. Because Alex has involved music in the comedy. But it's not like comedy can't do without the music.
It can do totally without music.
Yeah. And also part of why, understanding from his side, he's a brilliant businessman. Yeah. And when you're thinking, and when you're thinking business, sometimes you think, what is the demand of the market?
Yes.
Ugandans bantu ba vibe nyo. And sometimes, whether it's because of stress, sometimes unless you place them in a controlled environment, like a theater, their concentration is not very high.
And that's what John Sega was saying. He says, what killed comedy was bringing comedy to bars. Initially,
it's not supposed to be in bars.
It's supposed to be in
theaters.
Yes.
Because you see, even our society kind of doesn't allow us to have a long attention span.
Yes.
Tuli wano embwaba akajinywa esa Red Bull simanya gundi rock boom tuba tuli yao.
Just talked about something.
Yes.
You know, like Ugandans, we are, I don't know. Yeah, you can even see these guys like in the cinema.
That's just how we are.
In the cinema, you know, when you're in the cinema, you know, like your phone has to, you know, you have to put like on the side your phone and stuff. Enjoy the movie. Give yourself like 1 hour and a half. Enjoy the movie. But you see,
in the middle of the cinema, you see somebody say, "Hey, Mugame jamusa sura," and it's very loud.
That's typical.
And that's what we are trying to tell you. So, because of that,
imagine a person is watching a movie, but is WhatsApping, like in a
what's
group.
The point?
You get?
So is that a problem, or it's what we've given them that
no,
it's the way we have curated it.
Yes.
It is the thing about art, especially for stand-up. It is us, the comedians and the organizers of the shows, to teach the audience. Because for them, they'll adapt with everything.
Yes.
So if you have music playing, they say, hey, maybe comedy comes with that. Yes.
But again, Cotilda, I'm going to go back to the English comedians. Is your crowd minimal, or they just don't know where to find you? Because Luganda has taken over comedy.
That's a good question.
And there are times you go for comedy store and an English guy or whatever, then I'm asking myself, is it a language barrier?
Let me cut you short. That's a very good question. Last year we did Kings of Comedy with Salvador. We're doing a tour. We did over 15 shows around Uganda.
I met him in Barra. I met you people in Barra.
Yes.
The day you in Barra.
And I'll tell this for a fact. The best comedy fans are not in Kampala.
You're lying.
Yep.
You see, in Kampala, I'm doing the theater tomorrow, and I could sell it out, which is great. But if I go to Arua, I'll sell 2,000 tickets.
That's it.
If I go to Soroti people pay for VIP and they stand outside.
Yeah.
But that's how much they love. And there's no music, there's nothing. It's just somebody with a microphone and people are laughing.
Yeah. And in Arua, you see, like you could, nobody has to ask them for money. They enjoy the content so much that I have been tipped.
You don't have to go down and say, hey, look at your hair. If you don't give me money, you don't.
They automatically come to
they'll appreciate you.
The lowest I've been tipped in Arua was 84,000 by random guys. And no cap, straight.
So what's with Kampala? It's what we've given them, like you're saying.
What we've given them, and also there's a Luganda bias. I think most of the audience that come for the show, not that they don't know English. People know English. But actually, it's a challenge I also had when I was starting out comedy. My first biggest stage was Comedy Files. And I remember after my performance, I had a mild performance. But after the show, one of the organizers said, Okelo, you're good. Nice. If you do like 70% Luganda, then your English is 30%, you will become a big brand.
I've seen it in a comedy, so like four
also to try and
so the audience comes with a bias. First of all, that audience is an audience that, and that's the challenge with music in comedy, is somebody has paid for a ticket and they have not even read the comedians. Yeah, I love you, Lydia Jasmine. So he has come specifically for maybe the band is in Uganda, and like me, I've come to watch music. So you comedians, you're a distraction.
We're giving them 2 plates to feed at the same time.
And you'll find most of the tickets have sold because of the musician. So if you're on stage, it's like, when will this guy finish? Let Camilo come.
Okay, let's take it that. Is it high time that Alex can do comedy store, the one he does in Lugogo, periodically only comedians, and people will pay the 25?
I think it's not necessary to focus on just Alex, because that is a business model he has that works
for him,
and it's not a problem.
So we need more views to come out.
Exactly,
so
which is
clubs,
what we've been doing. The comedy clubs, like I've told you, for the industry to exist, there is no problem with Alex. That's a business model that works. So we need to stop looking at it from this perspective. This person is hurting. No. If you say that you shouldn't do this, what should I do? What's my other option? Which is now why you see, I've told you, the comedians are awakening to the realization that it's upon us to change this narrative. That's why you see we are having the comedy club. We are also having comedy specials, like I've told you.
Clubs have been there. I was in Germany. There's a bar that just plays comedy.
Auntie, we didn't have here. We didn't have here.
So that's why we're starting next week.
And the intellectuals of Bogamba is our audience hard to find. No, not necessarily that they are hard to find,
but there was no platform.
The mass market, beba nabambuka navechikuba kwaze sente za zikubye rumu, and they prefer to listen to Luganda.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, the one of Soroti and Arua. 2 days to grow. Short commercial.